Hey now, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly glad you tuned in. Still got a lot of games going on. Some are still in the third quarter, but we will be efforting them all evening long. Coming up at 9:40, we're going to hear from Maryville head coach Matt Webb as he got a big win tonight over Lutheran North, 35-14. Close game throughout until at the very end. Got other games going on right now with 47 seconds left in the game. Lee Summit North leads Liberty North 27-14. Have gone final now as Russellville defeats Harrisburg. That game just gone final, 44-28. And we'll get to as many of those as we can. We've got a pretty decent amount of scores at this point right now. But you're listening to Friday Night Live here, presented by Doak Propane, the Bank of Billings. Bank of Billings established 1889, the oldest bank in Christian County. We will go to the score desk right now, where Kent Mueller from Playing on Sports is there. We'll run through the scores that we have from last night and what have gone final tonight at this point. Kent, what do you got?
Okay, last evening's scores. Gateway won with a forfeit from Confluence Prep. Fort Zumwalt North 42, Fort Zumwalt South 6. It was northwest of Cedar Hill defeating Hazelwood West 49-6. Archie defeated Jasper 75-14. Lockwood defeated New Heights Christian 63-8. And it was Pembroke Hill 30 over St. Mary's Academy out of Kansas 30-13. Rittenhour over Webster Groves 48-7. And University City shut out Normandy Collaborative 64-0. In games played this evening, in 8-man, it was Albany 58, Princeton 24, Lincoln 44, Paris 16. Sweet Springs defeated Oric 42-20, and Thayer over Ava 30-14. Liberty Mountain View shut out Kabul 64-0. Adrian over California 35-0. Grandview of Hillsboro over Jefferson Festus 33-30. Marceline over Polo 21-8. Mid Buchanan defeated North Platte 56-24. Putnam County 55, Scotland County 0. Salisbury 65, Louisiana 14. Marionville 40, Sarcoxie 0. El Dorado Springs 27, Sherwood 13. West Platte 50, East Buchanan 7. It was Blair Oaks over Eldon 76-7. St. Clair defeated Herman 42-14. Monroe City over Benton 44-6. And it was Montgomery County over Bowling Green 42-6. North Callaway shut out Mark Twain 56-0. Ruskin over Doan Jack 45-28. It was Warsaw defeating Butler 48-0, while Houston defeated Willow Springs 44-13. Fulton over Marshall. Check that. It's Marshall over Fulton 53-20. Maryville defeated Lutheran North 37-15. It was Seneca over McDonald County 35-20. Hannibal 27, Moberly 0, and it was Cassville 27, Nevada 20. Savannah shuts out Chillicothe 35-0, as did Union over Owensville 35-0. Christian Brothers over Vianney 55-0, and it was Jackson all over Sykeston 75-7. Logan Rogersville defeated Marshville 49-7. St. Mary's South Side over Lutheran St. Charles 44-0. In a close one, Carthage over Republic 30-28. Elias Catholic 49, Jeff City 14. It was Nixa over Waynesville, 55-14. St. Louis University High, 27, Chaminade 10. Platte County shuts out Truman, 63-0, as did Webb City over Willard, 55-0. And those are the scores we have thus far this evening.
Yeah, surprising score there. Republic looked like they were going to run away and hide from Carthage as they went up. I believe they were up 21-7, but they missed an extra point and made it 27. And then Carthage comes back, and I know they went for 2, but I'm not sure. And here late in the game with Ozark and Glendale, Ozark grabs its first lead of the game on what many are saying a controversial drive, but Jeff easily runs it in from the 2, and they convert the point after to go up 35-34. It's a final now from Lee Summit North, as Lee Summit North defeats Liberty North 27-14. Another final, just gone final, Holden defeats Richmond 41-20. So lots of games still going on right now. We'll check if we can maybe on the district standings a little bit. We may hear from Allen Hilliard as well, as he was at the Waynesville Nixa game producing that for Waynesville. So lots of games going on, lots of folks right now. This is week 7 of the season. Folks are probably starting to peek a little bit at those district standings to see what they've got to do to get a home game with regards to points as they look at their district standings. Another big game was a matchup there at Maryville, Missouri. It started early tonight. Maryville gets some folks coming in. I mean, they had Blair Oaks come in week 1. That game started at 5, so they could get on the road and get back home. And we got to visit with Coach LePage on that ride home, as it was 4 hours to get home from Maryville. And I think Maryville must be 4 hours from everywhere. They played Lutheran North tonight, who was ranked in Class 4, and they beat them pretty easily there, 35-15. So we'll get in the scores as they come in here tonight. That's final now as Marshall defeats Fulton, and you may have read that one as well. Monroe City defeats Benton 44-6. That just went final. Rockbridge final in Columbia as they shut out Battle 64-0. We are joined on the phone now with Maryville head football coach Matt Webb. And Matt, tremendous win tonight. Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you, Guy. My voice is a little hoarse, but good to get a win against Luther North and have it on our home field. It's a good night.
Well, it started a little bit early. I got to watch most of that first half of that contest, but kind of tell us how it kind of went down. You kind of pulled away late.
Well, it was, we both kind of executed a drive in the first half, and they, kicked their PAT and we missed ours, so we were down 7-6. But, I really felt like, offensively in the first half, we were just kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. We had a fumble, and then we had an interception on offense, and other than that, felt like we were, running the football well on them. And I think on the night we ended up rushing for over 350 yards. So I felt like we were moving the ball. We just were shooting ourselves in the foot and making mistakes that good football teams, don't do. And can't say enough about our defense kind of hanging in there against, we talk about Luther North. You talk about elite talent in the state of Missouri. I mean, this is the defending Class 4 state champs for a reason. And most all their skill positions are back. And man, they can scoot. Their tailback's dynamic, quarterback's dynamic, got receivers. We just felt like we couldn't let them out in space, and we were going to struggle if we did. So really, we're just kind of adjusting and hanging on for dear life at times, and just felt like defensively we just kept adjusting all night and doing different things and making them not giving up the big play. You know, I felt like we, tailback first play of the game, rushed for about 50 yards scoot. And I'm like, oh boy, we better figure this out. It's going to be a long night. And our defense kind of, did a good job of swarming the ball and then getting a lot of guys on the hat. And that's, every coach talks about it, but that's the key.
Coach, talk about some of the young men that really stood out well for you tonight. Obviously, your offensive line must have had a big night.
Yeah, they did. It's one of those things that we've got a couple of younger guys up there that are, they're not young anymore. They're not young on our schedule. After week 1, you play Blair Oaks, you get one young one. Other than that, you better start growing up. So, we're in week 7, and our offensive line, really did a great job. We talked about being able to rush for 350 yards. I mean, Ben Jaster had a long run. Brody Shepard had a long run in the second half, getting a touchdown. Weston Talley continues to be a huge force for us, both sides of the ball. I'm talking about a game, a kid in seven ball games now that, going into the week, he had over 90 tackles. And that's coming from a defensive coach, and we're pretty stingy on tackles. Sometimes I don't know how guys get stats where they have 150 tackles, and I ask myself, my crap, I don't even think Mike Singletary ever had a year where he had 150 tackles. But anyway, Weston has just done an extremely good job, and needed him tonight. He's running the ball on both sides of the ball for us, and playing great linebacker.
Coach, at what point do you kind of start peeking at those district standings with regards to the numbers and trying to look at matchups, or maybe make sure you can get as many home games as you can?
Well, we challenged our kids this past week on Wednesday, and so we got a 9-day battle, guys. You got the number 2 team in the state in Luther North coming in here on Friday night. They embarrassed us last year, defending the Class 4 state champs. And what are we going to do? And then turn around in 7 days. At the time, we got number 3 team and Savannah Savages coming up here, and that's a Highway 71 rival. It's a huge game, and they're the number 3 team in Class 4. Well, I'm not very smart. I'm from Maryville, been born and raised here, but that's usually the way rankings happen is if you beat the number 2 team, they'll go down, and here comes the next number 2, So we got a 9-day challenge, and that's all we're worried about is Savannah Savages, and our kids will be cranked up. That's a big rival. We play for a metal highway sign. It's not a fancy trophy, but man, these kids, they take a lot of pride in that and a lot of value, and so does their community. Anthony Hayes has done an extremely good job. They got an undefeated football team, and because they're really good, they are a really good, talented team, and they're big, they're strong, they run the ball. They're just well coached, so we're going to have our hands full next week.
Coach, did you, and again, we're visiting with Matt Webb, Maryville Spoof Hounds head football coach, and did you come out of tonight's game relatively healthy?
No, it's week 7. We got nicks and bruises. We got our tailback didn't play tonight. Starting tailback, he's recovering from a knee injury. We think we'll get him back here shortly. Hope sooner better than later. But Southern View, senior captain, he's a really good player for us, so he'll be back at some point. But we have some other guys step up. But on tonight, we came out, relatively injury-free. Just a lot of nicks and bruises when you play a physical football team like Luther North. The ice baths will be full tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And, guy, if you want to make a trip up to God's country, come on up and get an ice bath. It'd be really good for both you and I to get in there. We don't need to get in there together. People might ask questions, but, we can both get an ice bath there at 10 a.m. It'd be beautiful up here in the morning.
You bet, Coach. I don't know. That's about a 6-hour drive for me.
Well, get in the car, let's go. I mean, Luther North's got to drive 5 hours home. We started this game at 5:30, so it'd be an earlier night, but, it'd be a good time.
You bet. Well, Coach, as always, you've always been generous with your time. Congratulations on a huge win, and look forward to visiting with you here as we go through the playoff season.
You bet, Guy. What you do for high school sports in the state of Missouri and representing, these kids need recognition and programs all around the state. Appreciate what you do. So it goes both ways. Thank you very much, Guy.
Hey, you bet, Coach. Thank you. Thanks for the kind words. Have a good evening.
Have a good night.
Coach Matt Webb, they're kind enough to join us there. It's a big win for them. Luther North, and like you said, they kind of handled them last year. Luther North, they're defending Class 4 state champions. They've got athletes all over the field, but that is a big win. But I'll tell you what we're going to do right now. We're going to go ahead and take our first break here of the evening, and we'll come back and we're going to visit with Jeff Geschwender from Hannibal clear on the other side of the state. He may be 5 or 6 hours away from me too, but we'll get to Coach Geschwinder here at 9:50 after this break.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. The heartbeat's strong, steady, unwavering. Like the people who keep this country moving, doing what they do best. Helping neighbors, pitching in, getting it done. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. And every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
Seems Bill's up the creek without a paddle. That's not funny. And while he really wants a new boat, at Central Bank, we're helping Bill plan for what's most important. Like retiring early and fishing whenever he wants. Hey, Bill, try it again.
Fine. Hope a new boat's part of this plan.
Dream bigger, Bill. We're thinking about a cabin, too.
Now that's a plan.
The Walnut Street Inn is located in the heart of Springfield on historic Walnut Street, just blocks away from the Missouri State Campus, Hammons Field, Great Southern Arena, and downtown Springfield. The Walnut Street Inn features newly remodeled rooms, breakfast served daily, and a friendly, accommodating staff. The Walnut Street Inn is also a great venue for private events. Book your stay or get more information at walnutstreetinn.com or call 417-864-6346.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Hey, welcome back to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly glad that you've tuned in wherever you may be listening from, but if you're in your car, hey, do us a favor. Take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. All right, very good. Kent, we're expecting a call here anytime now from Jeff Geschwinder, who's the head football coach at Hannibal, Missouri. Have you had any just updates here? But while we're waiting on his call, he's going to call probably here in a minute. But have you got any updates?
Well, I just loaded on Perryville 56 over Saxony Lutheran 42. I also have Lawson over Plattsburgh 50-20. Putnam County over Scotland County 55-0. Marionville defeated Sarcoxy 40-0. El Dorado Springs 27, Sherwood 13. West Platte over East Buchanan 50-7. Blair Oaks defeated Eldon 76-7. It was Springfield Catholic 49, Buffalo 7. Stockton over Diamond 52-14. St. Clair over Herman, 42-14. West Platte over East Buchanan, 50-7. Holden over Richmond, 41-20.
All right, we're going now to Hannibal head football coach Jeff Geschwinder. Coach Geschwinder, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Coach, tell us a bit about your ball game tonight at Moberly.
It was good physical football game. Both teams. Moberly did a great job defensively and just throwing a bunch of different stuff at us and kind of keeping us on our heels a little bit as far as figuring out what they were giving us. And I thought our defense was pretty lights out tonight. I mean, we handled them up front. We're able to get to the quarterback. We're able to create a bunch of turnovers. But it was a good, hard fought, physical game. We just came across with some plays and came out on top.
Did you come out of tonight's contest relatively healthy?
I think so. Obviously, couple little dings and bruises and stuff, but obviously we got couple ankles that are just going to have to see how they are tomorrow and go from there. But I think we're primarily healthy.
Coach, at what point in the season, you're over 2/3 of the way through it, do you maybe start, sneaking a peek maybe at that district standings and just kind of figuring out what you need to do? Or is it just, hey, we just need to win every game and then let that fall where it may?
I think the latter there. A lot of us, we just got to win whoever gets put in front of us, and then we just keep rolling. The main thing, we just got to keep improving our whole game. Sometimes offense hitting on all cylinders and defense gives up a little bit. Sometimes defense, like tonight, hitting on all cylinders, and offense kind of struggles a little bit to get stuff going. But we just got to continue to work, continue to focus on putting the whole thing together and coming out, putting a complete game here as we approach the end.
As you go back to the beginning of the season compared to now, what are some things you're doing really well right now? Have seen the most improvement in it? Maybe an area where if you're going to make a deep run, you're going to have to shore something up. But kind of talk a little bit about both of those.
Really our line play on both sides of the ball is playing really well right now. And our quarterback's playing with a lot more confidence. Early in his first year started, so early in the year, he's always trying to be perfect and make the perfect thing. Where now he's just being a competitor. He's going out, he's taking what's given to him, and he's making big plays with his legs too. But none of that stuff can happen if it isn't for our defense shutting down offense's run games and our offensive line being able to create gaps for our running game to open stuff up. So, really just been very happy with the physicality that we've had, coming into the latter part of the year, just on both sides of the ball. We got some dudes that just won't come out and hit. So, we really just need to hang our hat on that and just keep getting better at what we do.
And I know you're probably not home yet, but have you thought about next week and what those challenges present with Marshall at home?
The only reason I know what Marshall has is because the last 3 games we played, they played Marshall before us. So the last 3 weeks, the last scout film we have has been against Marshall. So we've seen a little bit over our last 3 opponents. Last year they kind of switched it up, started doing a lot of split back, 2-back stuff under center, and it's really helped out. They're mixing that up with with some spread stuff also, and they got a quarterback that can flat out run. They got a good running back too. So, again, we just got to make sure that we're doing what we need to be doing on and really just clean stuff up, put drives together on offense, and be happy with what's given to us. In defense, just keep playing with your hair on fire like they're doing right now. I mean, our defense lights out tonight.
Very good, Coach. Well, hey, it's a big win. Congratulations. And again, thanks for being, as always, generous with your time here on a game night. We look forward to visiting with you on into the playoffs.
All right. Sounds good, guy. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Bye. Coach Jeff Geschwinder there from Hannibal's. They get a big win tonight over Moberly. They've just got 1 loss on the season, and that was a week 1 loss at Elias by 3 points. So they're going to be a handful, as they go through. Now the remaining games, they've only got 1 team on their of the last 2 that they've faced in the regular season that have a winning record. Marshall's 2-4, and it doesn't matter what they did tonight; they're still going to be below 500. Then Fort Zumwalt West is 4-3, and that game they've already played, and it's already in the record book. But you look at that district that Hannibal is in right now. They're in first place at 6-1, but Odessa's right behind them at 5-1, and their score has not been put in here yet. In fact, the only one that has been put in, there's 2, Kirksville and Mexico. Mexico's 5-2, but they're considered probably 12 points there behind Hannibal as well. We'll go back here to the score desk. Coming up at 10 o'clock, we'll have Ryan Nesbitt calling in, and he is at Jackson High School, and they get a big win tonight as well. But we'll go back to Kent Mueller at the score desk as we can here in the next 4 minutes.
All right. Last night, Gateway picked up a forfeit win from Confluence Prep. Fort Zumwalt North defeated Fort Zumwalt South 42-6. Northwest of Cedar Hill defeated Hazelwood West 49-6. Also last night, it was Archie over Jasper 75-14, and Lockwood over New Heights Christian 63-8. Pembroke Hill won at home against St. Mary's Academy out of St. Mary's, Kansas, 30-13. Rittenhour 48, Webster Groves 7, and University City shuts out Normandy Collaborative last night 64-0. We'll start with the 8-man games tonight. Albany 58, Princeton 24, Lincoln over Paris 44-16, Sweet Springs over Oric 42-20. Thayer defeated Ava 30-14. Liberty Mountain View over Kabul 64-0. Adrian 35, California 0. Cole Camp in a very close one over Midway 21-20. Grandview of Hillsboro 33, Jefferson Festus 30. Marceline defeated Polo 21-8. Mid Buchanan over North Platte 56-24. Miller defeated Skyline 19-14. Perryville over Saxony Lutheran 56-42. It was Lawson 50, Plattsburgh 20. Putnam County shuts out Scotland County 55-0. Russellville over Harrisburg 44-28. Salisbury 64, Louisiana 14. Marionville shuts out Sarcoxy 40-0. El Dorado Springs 27, Sherwood 13. North County over Windsor Imperial 36-0. And West Platte 50, East Buchanan 7. Blair Oak 76, Eldon 7. Springfield Catholic over Buffalo 49-7. Stockton 52, Diamond 14. It was St. Clair defeating Herman 42-14. West Platte over East Buchanan 50-7. Holden over Richmond 41-20. Lamar edges out Monette 27-24. Monroe City 44, Benton 6. And Montgomery County 42, Bowling Green 6. North Callaway took care of Mark Twain 56-0. It was Fairgrove 56, Reed Spring 28. Ruskin defeats Lone Jack 45-28. Warsaw over Buffalo 48-0. Houston defeats Willow Springs 44-13. Valley Catholic doubled up Central Park Hills 40-20. East Newton 47, Aurora 21. St. Francis Borgia 34, Holt 7. Marshall 53, Fulton 20. Maryville 37, Lutheran North 15. It was Seneca defeating McDonald County 35-20, and Hannibal shutting out Moberly 27-0. Cassville over Nevada 27-20, and Mount Vernon defeats Parkview tonight 21-7. Mountain Grove over Salem 30-6. Savannah 35, Chillicothe 0. Union also defeats Owensville 35-0. Branson 35, Carl Junction 32. Christian Brothers shuts out Vianney 55-0. And DeSmet over Festus 56-28. It was DeSoto 26, Hillsboro 20. Jackson over Sykeston 75-7. Logan Rogersville 49, Marshfield 7. St. Mary's South Side 44, Lutheran St. Charles 0. West Plains 41, Poplar Bluff 12. Carthage 30 in a close one over Republic 30-28. Lafayette defeats Eureka 35-6. Elias Catholic 49, Jefferson City 14. Lebanon 36, Kickapoo 10. Joplin in a close one over Neosho 31-28. while Nixa defeats Waynesville 55-14. Rockbridge 64, Battle 0. St. Louis University High 27, Chaminade 10. Platte County 63, Truman 0. It was Webb City all over Willard 55-0. Liberty defeats Blue Springs South 64-0. Lee Summit North 27, Liberty North 14. And those are the scores I have thus far, Guy.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're in an exciting matchup here between Glendale and Ozark. Ozark scored was 42-35. Ozark scored with 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining in the fourth, and then Glendale blocks the extra point attempt. So with 1:11 left in the fourth quarter, Glendale's up on Ozark 42-41. All right, very good. You're listening to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Turning 65 soon, already retired. Medicare can be confusing, but it doesn't have to be. At Calhoun and Associates Insurance, they make Medicare enrollment smooth, simple, and stress-free. And that's just the beginning. From choosing the right plan to creating a retirement strategy that lasts, Calhoun and Associates Insurance is your one-stop shop for a secure future. Hey, they'll help you understand your options, avoid costly mistakes, and build retirement you deserve because you've worked hard your whole life. Now it's time to enjoy it. Call Calhoun and Associates Insurance today or tomorrow at 417-379-2157 or visit CalhounInsurances.com. Your golden years start with a golden plan. We're going to take a time out here. We'll be back on Friday Night Live after these messages from our sponsors.
Any given Saturday. And a little work. And a little play.
Hey, little help?
And a truck that says no to nothing.
Hi, Dad. Can I give them a ride?
Yeah.
The Silverado Trail Boss and Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start?
Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
Hey, welcome back to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Again, certainly glad you've tuned in to Friday Night Live, and as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds all of us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. Well, Ozark recovered the onside kick, and now they're inside the 25-yard line with 30 seconds left. They have no timeouts. They just picked up a first down, so the clock stops. They're back in formation, and they get a spike. I believe there's a penalty on the play. They may have not gotten lined up correctly here, or may have had, no, I think maybe a timeout was called by Glendale. Well, we'll see. We will make it right. We will figure it out. But again, you're listening to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network. Going to be joined by Ryan Nesbitt here of Jackson here in about 3 or 4 minutes. But we'll go back to Kent Mueller at the score desk for any updates that he's got until Coach Nesbitt joins us. Kent?
All right. I have Hannibal over Moberly 27-0. Cassville over Nevada 27-0. Excuse me, check that. It's Cassville over Nevada 27-20. Mount Vernon 21-7 over Parkview. Mountain Grove defeats Salem 30-6. Savannah over Chillicothe 35-0. Union over Owensville 35-0. And Warrensburg shuts out Center 56-0. It is Branson over Carl Junction tonight, 35-32. Christian Brothers over Vianney, 55-0. DeSmet defeats Festus, 56-28. DeSoto 26, Hillsboro 20, and Jackson over Sykeston, 75-7. Logan Rogersville 49, Marshfield 7. St. Mary's Southside 44 over Lutheran St. Charles 44-0. West Plains 41, Poplar Bluff 12.
Okay. Going now to Coach Ryan Nesbitt from Jackson, kind enough to join us. Coach, big win tonight over a Sykeston team. Tell us about tonight's ball game.
Yeah, guys played well. Got off to a fast start and executed all three phases. So pleased.
Tell us about some of the young men that really stood out well. I know we got to interview you today along with Jalen Hampton on our Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week segment, but who played well for you tonight?
Well, offensively, quarterback Drew Parsons, unofficially 13 of 14 or 13 of 15 for about 250. Jory Toma, receiver, had about 100 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns on 6 catches, so he played well. Jalen Hampton had another 90 yards or thereabouts on 8 carries. So those guys played well for us.
Did you come out of tonight's contest relatively healthy?
Yeah, so far this year, knock on wood, we've avoided the big one. We've got bumps and bruises like anybody else, but we made it out tonight relatively healthy.
Coach, at what point during the season do you kind of maybe trying to sneak a peek at the district standings? I mean, you're 7-0 right now, but do you look at those at all? Do you pay attention at all, or do you just win the game in front of you and we'll let that play out?
I think both kind of occur at the same time. You're certainly aware of down the road, but you never lose focus on the task at hand and just enjoying tonight. Never getting tired of being thankful and having gratitude for wins, and then getting back to work and getting back to the process.
Coach, as you look at next week's contest, you've got, I believe, Miller Career Academy. What do you know about Miller Career? You may not have had an opportunity to look, but it's a home game. But what do you know about them, and what are you going to have to do to come out to win there?
It'll be less about the opponent, more about us. Just continuing to find ways to improve this time of year. It'll be senior night, so obviously opportunity for our 18 seniors to get recognized and play last regular season home game. So we've got a lot to be thankful for and look forward to. But for us, it's just, again, playing good football in all 3 phases.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, again, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time here on a game night, and congratulations on the win, and we look forward to visiting with you throughout the postseason.
You bet, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, you bet. Thanks, Coach. Coach Ryan Nesbitt there from Jackson High School, and they're rolling right now. I mean, they're 7-0. They're putting up a lot of points, 75 points tonight, 62 last weekend, 69 the weekend before that, and 56 the week before that. And their district sets up right now. They're the 1 seed, but Northwest Cedar Hill, and their game from tonight has been entered. But Northwest Cedar Hill, and actually they may have played last night, but they are 6-1, and they're 5 points behind a 7-0 Jackson. And those teams don't meet during the regular season. That district is Jackson, Northwest Cedar Hill, Seckman, Oakville, and Lindbergh. But anyway, Jackson's got an opportunity there to, I think, to make a kind of a deep run. But We will go back. You're listening to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And we will go back to the desk and to Mr. Kent Mueller from Playing on Sports. Kent, always say we run through these scores a couple more times here.
All right. We have last night's scores. Gateway picked up a win with a forfeit from Confluence Prep. Fort Zumwalt North 42, Fort Zumwalt South 6. Also last evening was Northwest of Cedar Hill 49, Hazelwood West 6. Archie 75, Jasper 14. Lockwood defeats New Heights Christian 63-8. Pembroke Hill wins over St. Mary's Academy of St. Mary's, Kansas 30-13. Rittenhour over Webster Groves 48-7. And University City 64, Normandy Collaborative 0. In games this evening, Albany came out on top over Princeton 58-24. Lincoln over Paris 44-16. Sweet Springs over Oric 42-20. Thayer defeats Ava 30-14. Liberty Mountain View 64, Kabul 0. It was Adrian over California 35-0. And it just in is Caruthersville 49, Hayti 40. And Colcamp 21 in a close one over Midway 21-20. Grandview Hillsboro 33, Jefferson Festus 30. Marceline 21, Polo 8. Meade Buchanan defeats North Platte 56-24. Miller over Skyline 19-14. Perryville over Saxony Lutheran 56-42. Lawson 50, Plattsburgh 20. Putnam County 55, Scotland County 0. Harrisburg over Russellville 20. Check that. It's Russellville over Harrisburg 44-28. Salisbury 65, Louisiana 14. Marionville 40, Sarcoxy 0. El Dorado Springs 27, Sherwood 13. North County defeats Windsor Imperial 36-0. West Platte over East Buchanan 50-7. Crest Ridge over Westrand 44-14. It was Blair Oak 76, Eldon 70. Blair Oak 76, Eldon 7. Springfield Catholic over Buffalo 49-7. Stockton defeats Diamond tonight 52-14. St. Clair over Herman 42-14. West Platte defeats East Buchanan 50-7, and Holden is victorious over Richmond 41-20. Knobnoster over Lafayette County 41-13. Cameron defeats Lafayette of St. Joseph 20-8. Lamar in a close one over Monette 27-24. Also in a close one, Lexington 44, Carrollton 42, Monroe City 44, Benton 6. Montgomery County defeats Bowling Green this evening 42-6, and it was North Callaway 56-0 over Mark Twain. Fair Grove defeats Reed Spring 56-28. Ruskin 45, Lone Jack 28. Warsaw defeats Butler. Warsaw over Butler 48-0. Houston 44, Willow Springs 13. Valley Catholic defeats Central Park Hills 40-20. East Newton over Aurora 47-21. Clinton 20, Harrisonville 13. St. Francis Borgia 34, Holt 7. Marshall defeats Fulton this evening 53-20. Maryville over Lutheran North 37-15. Seneca over McDonald County 35-20. Hannibal defeats Moberly 27-0, and Cassville defeats Nevada 27-20. Mount Vernon 21, Parkview 7, Mountain Grove 30, Salem 6, and Savannah shuts out Chillicothe 35-0. Sullivan over St. James 10-0. Union over Owensville 35-0, and Warrensburg shuts out Center 56-0. Branson wins a close one over Carl Junction 35-32. Christian Brothers on top of Vianney 55-0. DeSmet defeats Festus 56-28. Excelsior Springs 20, Grandview 7. DeSoto defeats Hillsboro 26-20. Jackson 75, Sykeston 7. Logan Rogersville 49, Marshfield 7. St. Mary's Southside 44, Lutheran St. Charles 0. West Plains over Poplar Bluff 41-12. Carthage over Republic 30-28. And Lafayette 35, Eureka 6. Glendale edges out Ozark 42-41. Grain Valley defeats Belton 63-25. It was Elias Catholic with 49 over Jefferson City with 14. Lebanon defeats Kickapoo 36-10. Joplin over Neosho 31-28. Nixa over Waynesville 55-14. Fort Osage 36, Raytown 28. Rock Bridge, Rock Battle 64-0. Slough 27, Chaminade 10. Platte County all over Truman 63-0, and Webb City all over Willard 55-0. And I have Lee Summit North 27, Liberty North 14. Blue Springs 35, Park Hill South 6. Lee Summit West 42 over Staley with 16. And those are the scores that I have for tonight so far.
All right. Also, we'll remind everybody coming up tomorrow, Oak Grove will be at Kansas City Central. Clayton will be at Jennings. Christ Preparatory will be at Kip Casey Legacy. Parkway Central will be at McClure. Veritas Christian Academy will be at Priory. Afton will be at Riverview Gardens, and John Burroughs will be at Westminster Christian Academy. Again, you're listening to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network. And hey, do us a favor. Go to our Facebook page and give us a like. How about going to our YouTube channel and subscribing? Had several shows come out this week, from D-Row and Arch to Where Are They Now Wednesdays to the Missouri Milestones podcast, all of our athletes of the week, our teams of the week, and our high school game day as well. We encourage you to do that. And hey, send us a chat. I know those folks out there listening. I talk to you every day. Talked to Mike Harbert the other day to make sure that he wanted us to make sure that we pronounced El Dorado Springs correctly. It's not call them El Dorado Springs. Talked to Terry from the athletic department down at Neosho, and they sit in their car and listen to it. Hey, some of those guys, some of you folks that are out there listening, hey, drop us a line at Facebook or on YouTube channel or even at Twitter. Let us know where you're listening from. Special thanks to all the coaches who have been part of it up to this point. We will be visiting with Coach Cruz from St. Louis University Highs. They got their victory tonight as well. We've reached out to Coach Wells at Rogersville. We've also reached out to the Glendale coach, 42-41, as they recover a fumble late in that contest with about 20 seconds remaining to seal that deal. But it was very much iffy at that time. You know, another score from the MRVC East report. The halftime score, Lexington trailed Carrollton 42-14 at halftime, and they win 44-42. Outscored them 30-0 in the second half. That is a big comeback win. But as I mentioned, Glendale and Ozark, that just has went final. Valley Catholic outscored Cape Central in the second half, 21-0 to win 40-20. So I can't believe it, but this I think this Camdenton Hickman game may still be going on. But I'm going to check real quick. And yeah, well, maybe not. It has gone final 63-37. Hickman over Camdenton. But hey, let us know once again where. Oh, it's not a final. Never mind. Never mind. It is not a final. There is some time still left on the clock in that contest. Well, we're going to take a quick time out here. We'll come back. We'll visit with SLU head football coach, Coach Cruz, after these messages from the Missouri Sports Network.
Things are a little tight for Terrence right now. But they won't be for long, because Central Bank makes it easier for customers like Terrence to dream bigger.
More room would be nice.
With mortgage solutions that can open the door to more space.
That's what I'm talking about.
For his growing family.
Growing family?
Honey, guess what?
You got this, buddy.
Unplug and unlock. Road trips on easy mode. And a really big touchscreen for the biggest jams. And qualify for up to $7,500 in tax credit with the Equinox EV. Unlock the tech and the value. With the 2025 Equinox EV, America's most affordable over 315-mile range EV. And Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Whether your day starts early or goes late into the night, brings the discovery of something new, or just the work of getting it done, it's all easier with a little help. At Great Southern Bank, we understand the importance of having a trusted, reliable support team who can offer you helpful resources and smart options to make the most of what you have and build on it, with possibilities that inspire you to keep going. Find your support team at GreatSouthernBank.com. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters.
Hey, welcome back to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network. Guy Newcomb here flying the microphone. Kent Mueller is flying the desk back at the score desk. And Cash Newberry from Glendale, who had missed the last couple of weeks, got to play tonight for Glendale and threw for 5 touchdown passes and ran one in. So he was responsible for all 6 touchdowns tonight as they recovered a fumble. Or I'm sorry, they didn't recover a fumble. They got a big 4th down stop in that game to end it. I misspoke earlier. I just saw a scrum and didn't realize that they had stopped them at that point. Adam Cruz now is everything getting him on the line as we can hear the phone ringing. Adam Cruz at St. Louis University High. They get a big win tonight. And that game has gone final now. He's got a post. Okay, Adam Cruz is away from his phone or he's on the other line. Hopefully he'll give us a call back. So we'll go back to the score desk. We've got some updated scores that recently came out. So we'll take it back to Kent Mueller at the Missouri Sports Network score desk.
Yes, I have Penny 31, Lathrop 0, Marceline 21-8 over Polo. It was Mid Buchanan 56, North Platte 24, Miller over Skyline 19-14, Perryville 56 over Saxony Lutheran 42. Lawson defeats Plattsburgh 50-20. Putnam County over Scotland County 55-0. Russellville 44, Harrisburg 28. It was Salisbury over Louisiana 65-14. while Marionville shuts out Sarcoxy this evening 40-0. El Dorado Springs 27, Sherwood 13. I have North County 36, Windsor 0. I have West Platte 50 over East Buchanan with 7. Crest Ridge 44 over Westran with 14. Blair Oak 76, Eldon 7. Springfield Catholic 49, Buffalo 7. Stockton defeats Diamond 52-14. St. Clair over Herman 42-14. It's West Platte over East Buchanan 50-7. Holden over Richmond 41-20. Knob Noster defeats Lafayette County 41-13. Cameron over Lafayette of St. Joseph 20-8. Lamar in a close one over Monette 27-24. Lexington edges past Carrollton 44-42. Monroe City 44, Benton 6, Montgomery County 42, Bowling Green 6. North Callaway 56-0 over Mark Twain. Fair Grove over Reed Spring 56-28. Ruskin 45, Lone Jack 28. Warsaw over Buffalo 48-0. Houston defeats Willow Springs 44-13. Valley Catholic 40, Central Park Hills 20. East Newton over Aurora 47-21. Clinton over Harrisonville 20-13. St. Francis Borgia 34, Holt 7. It was Marshall over Fulton 53-20. Maryville over Lutheran North 37-15. Seneca over McDonald County 35-20. Hannibal over Moberly 27-0. Cassville defeats Nevada this evening 27-20. Mount Vernon defeated Parkview 21-7.
All right. Right. We have reached Coach Cruz, and Adam Cruz from St. Louis University High is kind enough to join us. Coach Cruz, big win tonight. Tell us about it.
Yeah, again, hats off to our defense. They gave up just a field goal. Second week in a row that our first-ring defense didn't give up a touchdown. They played really well. It was one of those games that hats off to Chaminade. They played very hard. We shot ourselves in the foot a couple times, turned the ball over in the red zone twice, and so we were never able to pull away like we wanted to. But a win is a win, especially at this point in the year.
Who played really well for you tonight, Coach?
So again, defensively, a lot of our guys, stepped up. Sebastian Tate is the senior defensive lineman. Kalan Grace, who is kind of our power running back, scored 2 touchdowns. Tyler Kosminski, a sophomore receiver, scored a long touchdown. But it was a really big team effort on defense. There was a lot of guys that, rallied to the ball and, again, hit a goal line stand and, again, held them to a field goal. So it was nice defensively that we were able to stand tall all night.
We had you on about 4 weeks ago, and Coach, since that time, where do you feel like you've made kind of the most improvements on this team?
So our offensive line gets better every single week. They're gelling as a group. Again, defensively, I feel like we're deeper than we've been in the past. We're actually quietly young on defense. It's just 3 seniors. And so those guys get better every week. And then, we've had our 2 backs healthy the last couple of weeks, which hasn't been the case the last couple of years. And so it's been nice to be able to run the ball like that.
Did you come out of tonight's contest relatively healthy?
It's week 7. I don't think anybody's healthy. But, we'll come back tomorrow for our rehab and then get ready for the next one.
It was senior night tonight, so a big night for your seniors. Talk about some of those that really stood out for you.
Yeah, so we have 25 seniors, a lot of guys that have given a lot of time to the program. One little shout out, I should have said it earlier, our punter, Will Orlando, who's a senior, was phenomenal tonight. I mean, obviously hats off to our defense, but if our punter doesn't play how he is, that might be a different ball game. And it was really cool to see him play like he did.
Very good. Well, you've got another home game next week, but you've got CBC coming in. What do you know about them that maybe you're going to have to defend against, and maybe some of those challenges, and what are you going to have to do to come out on top?
Well, obviously they're 7-0 for a reason. They're a very talented team on both sides of the ball. I said we're senior heavy with 25. I think I saw after their senior night they have 36 seniors. So they have 11 more seniors than we do. So we're gonna have to play our best game. In some ways tonight we played maybe the worst we played all year, and again with lots of things to build on. So we'll have to follow it up with our best game next week.
Yeah, you look at that district, and those top three teams are all, top four teams, I guess. Well, no, top three teams are all undefeated, and then sitting in fourth is the Smet team in that district. But that's a brutal district, Coach, as you look at it.
Yeah, I mean, we knew the day it came out too. I don't know, don't put too much into rankings, but according to the Post-Dispatch, CBC's 1. We're 3 and Lafayette's 4. The only team that's not in our district in the top 5 is East St. Louis, who's over in Illinois. But you play the hand you're dealt, and obviously with Lafayette, CBC, 2 great teams. You're going to play great teams eventually, and so we just had to play them a little earlier than maybe we would have liked.
Coach, what are Saturdays like for you? I mean, what you guys get sit down and watch film? You get in the training room, ice baths. What do you do?
Yeah, so maybe I'm crazy. Saturdays for us, kids ice bath and come for the training room, but I do not bring the kids in required. We ask a lot of these kids. We already take their whole summer with how summer's laid out nowadays. So Saturdays I let them be kids, and I let our staff be with their families and stuff like that. We as a staff meet on Sunday. Like I said, I come in, our trainer comes in, we deal with the guys there. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe other programs do a lot on Saturday, but I think both with our staff and our kids, that they deserve a day for all the time they give.
Outstanding, Coach. Well, hey, as always, I appreciate you being generous with your time, and maybe we can get some of your kids and yourself on one of our shows this week, just with the restream and kind of similar to Zoom.
Yeah, that'd be excellent. Looking forward to it.
All right, Coach. Well, hey, you have a good evening. God bless, and thanks for being part of the show.
All right, have a good one. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Coach Adam Cruz, who's always generous with his time, and he's generous with the kids' time as well, is letting them have pretty much a Saturday off unless they need to get an ice bath or something like that. And there's a lot of great coaches in the state of Missouri, and I've seen a lot of great things. Even going into tonight, Nixa was up 49-0 at the end of the first quarter on Waynesville, and they only scored one more touchdown the remainder of the game. And that's class. When you do that, you're not out there too embarrassed. You got to get your varsity kids some snaps, but to kind of pull the horses off, when you know that you're going to dominate, and there's two parts of that too. You want your kids to stay healthy, going into the postseason, especially when you're a team that maybe has an opportunity to make a run, a deep run. Last year they went to the state championship game, and they've got a lot of those kids back, and they added an all-state running back, to that group. But that was impressive, and I think that's the second time they've done that. I think maybe Lebanon a couple weeks ago, but anywho, hey, I want to invite everybody. On Mondays, we host the Springfield Area Quarterback Club at Bambino's Italian Cafe on East Battlefield at Lone Pine. Doors open at 11 o'clock. The meal's just $10. You come in, you can use a credit card, you can pay with cash, and it's $10, and it's a buffet-style meal. We usually I think last week we had 7 coaches there. We've always got at least 2 high school coaches or 2 college coaches that come and give of their time to speak as well. And then we'll try and add, 5 to 6 high school coaches from around the area. We've got Willard, Republic, Ash Grove has been there, Aurora, Mount Vernon, Rogersville, Stratford, Fairgrove, Lebanon. Coach Christian has shown up a couple of times as well. Nixa Ozark, Willard. I believe I've already said that, but I invite you to join us. Come down. It's a great meal, great fellowship. It's a great time there at Bambino's Italian Cafe. We'll take a quick time out. We'll come back. We'll run through the scores again, and we're still reaching out to coaches. So Maybe we can get a couple more on here before we get off the air. It is 10:36. Make sure your seatbelt's on.
Any given Saturday. And a little work. And a little play.
Hey, little help?
And a truck that says no to nothing.
Hi, Dad. Can I get them a ride?
Yeah.
The Silverado Trail Boss and Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Support.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start?
Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Be great.
Participate!
Hey, welcome back to Friday Night Live here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Hey, again, I invite you to go to our Twitter handles at Missouri_sports, at playing_sports, and at scoreboard guy. If you want to be the smartest fan in the stands. Had about 30,000 viewers tonight. And hey, drop us a line. Let us know where you are viewing from. You can go to our Facebook page and like us on Facebook at Missouri Sports Network. Go to our YouTube channel at Missouri Sports Network and subscribe. And then you'll be well aware of any time the shows are going out. There's several shows a week that go out over the Missouri Sports Network. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol remind us, take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. And that did go final. Hickman over Camdenton 63-37. It's got to be the latest game of the night. And I know we're still trying to track down scores at this time. The good doctor's in the other room at the desk typing them in. I saw his kid. I've been typing in a few as well here. And to that end, we'll go back to the scoreboard desk, and Kent Mueller from Playing on Sports and run through the scores here. Maybe for the final time here, we may get out here a little bit early if I can not get some coaches here to call in. But back to the scoreboard desk and Kent Mueller.
Okay, last night's games, excuse me, it was a 4-foot win for Gateway from Confluence Prep. Fort Zumwalt North defeated Fort Zumwalt South last evening, 42-6. It was Northwest Cedar Hill 49, Hazelwood West 6, Archie 75, Jasper 14, Lockwood 63, New Heights Christian 8. Pembroke Hill defeated St. Mary's Academy of St. Mary's, Kansas 30-13. Rittenhour 48, Webster Groves 7. University City over Normandy Collaborative 64-0. In games tonight, it was Albany 58, Princeton 24. Lincoln over Paris 44-16. Knox County over North Shelby 58-24. Northwest Hughesville defeats Slater 72-32. Sweet Springs defeats Oric 42-20. Thayer defeats Ava 30-14. Liberty Mountain View over Kabul 64-0. Adrian 35, California 0. Caruthersville defeats Hayti 49-40. It was Cole Camp by a point over Midway 21-20. Grandview Hillsboro over Jefferson Festus 33-30. Penny defeats Lathrop this evening, 31-0. Marceline, 21, Polo, 8. Mid Buchanan, 56, North Platte, 24. Miller defeats Skyline 19-14. Perryville over Saxony Lutheran 56-42. Lawson 50, Plattsburgh 20. Putnam County shuts out Scotland County 55-0. Russellville over Harrisburg 44-28. Salisbury defeats Louisiana 65-14. It was Marionville 40, Sarcoxy 0. El Dorado Springs 27, Sherwood 13. North County 36, Windsor 0. West Platte 50, East Buchanan 7. Crest Ridge over Westran 44-14, and it was Blair Oaks all over Eldon 76-7. Springfield Catholic 49, Buffalo 7. Stockton over Diamond 52-14. St. Clair defeats Herman 42-14, and it was West Platte 50, East Buchanan 7. Holden defeats Richmond 41-20. Knobnoster over Lafayette County 41-13. Cameron defeats Lafayette of St. Joseph 20-8. Lamar edges out Monette 27-24, as did Lexington over Carrollton 44-20. Monroe City 44, Benton 6. Montgomery County defeats Bowling Green 42-6. And North Callaway shuts out Mark Twain 56-0. Fair Grove 56, Reed Spring 28. It was Ruskin over Lone Jack 45-28. Stratford defeats Forsyth this evening 42-26. Van Horn edges out Summit Christian 35-32. Warsaw over Butler 48-0. Houston defeats Willow Springs 44-13. Boonville defeats Osage 27-20. It was Valley Catholic 40. Central Park Hills 20. Valley Catholic over Central Park Hills 40-20. East Newton 47, Aurora 21. Clinton defeats Harrisonville 20-13. Clever over Hollister 35-8. St. Francis Borgia 34, Holt 7. Marshall 53, Fulton 20, Maryville 37, Lutheran North 15. It was Seneca defeating McDonald County this evening 35-20, while Hannibal shuts out Moberly tonight 27-0. And it was Cassville 27, Nevada 20. Mount Vernon defeats Parkview this evening 21-7. Mountain Grove 30, Salem 6. Savannah over Chillicothe 35-0. St. Michael defeats University Academy 31-7 this evening, while it was Sullivan 10, St. James 0. Union over Owensville 35-0, and Warrensburg shuts out Center 56-0. Branson in a close one over Carl Junction 35-32. Christian Brothers all over Vianney 55-0. DeSmet 56, Festus 28. Excelsior Springs 20, Grandview 7. DeSoto 26, Hillsboro 20. Jackson 75, Sykeston 7. Kearney shuts out Raytown South 57-0, as did Lincoln College Prep over Southeast 37-0. Logan Rogersville 49, Marshfield 7. Sumner of Kansas City, Kansas, defeats Northeast of Kansas City 44-21. Odessa defeats Pleasant Hill this evening 26-21. St. Mary's Southside 44, Lutheran St. Charles 0. Warrenton 40, St. Charles 20. West Plains over Poplar Bluff 41-12. St. Pius of Kansas City, playing a brutal schedule this year, defeats Bishop Miege from over on the Kansas side, 45-21. That's a big win for the Warriors. Cap City, 54. Smith Cotton, 7. Carthage, 30. Republic, 28. Lafayette, all over Eureka, 35-6. Glendale edges Ozark, 42-41. Grain Valley, 63. Belton, 25. Elias Catholic over Jefferson City, 49-14. Camdenton, 63. Hickman, 37. Lebanon, 36. Kickapoo, 10. Kirkwood, 49. Marquette, 7. Joplin, 31. Neosho, 28. It was Nixa over Waynesville this evening, 55-14. Fort Osage, 36. Raytown, 28. Rock Bridge, all over Battle, 64-0. And it was SLU over Chaminade, 27-10. Francis Howell defeats Timberland, 44-24. Platte County shuts out Truman, 63-0. North Point, 27. Washington, 21. Webb City, 44. Willard, 0. Winnetonka over William Chrisman, 27-21. It was Park Hill, 42. Central St. Joe, 20. Lee Summit North, 27. Liberty North, 14. North Kansas City defeats Oak Park this evening, 41-27. Blue Springs over Park Hill South, 35-6. It was Lee Summit West defeating Staley, 42-16. And those, Guy, are the scores I have at this moment.
Well, outstanding. We'll be joined here shortly by Glendale head football coach Frank Tristan as they get a big stop on 4th down late in the game to win that game over Ozark. And those are two teams that are in the same district, so they're probably going to meet again, and that's going to be crazy. But a huge win and a huge night for Cash Newberry as well tonight. But 42-41 was that final there. You look at that district, it's a Class 5, District 5, and you've got Lebanon right now at 4-3, Capital City at 4-3, Glendale at 4-3, and Jefferson City is at 2-5. But that's something right now. Well, no, they're not in the same district, so they won't meet because Ozark's Class 6. So never mind. I should have looked before I leapt. But Glendale obviously doesn't play Capital City, but they do play Lebanon next week, and that's a big matchup for that district rankings. And then they'll finish with Nixa. Will Glendale, but that's good. They're going to get the bump in points there because they're playing up, so they're going to get those bonus points for playing up. Any scores out there tonight, Kent, that really surprised you? You mentioned St. Pius out of Kansas City going across the border there, but anything else? Well, here we've got Coach Tristan joining us. And welcome to the show now, Glendale head football coach Frank Tristan. Coach Tristan, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, you had them all the way, didn't you?
Yeah, boy, it was a really fun high school football game. I think either way, either fan was definitely invested into the game.
Well, tell us a little bit about it because it was back and forth. And it looked like you guys may run off and hide, and then Ozark gets back in it, and then you get that final minute and a half had to have been just so exciting for the fan. I don't know about coaches, but for fans, it had to be awesome.
It was, we kind of pulled away by 2 scores, and Jet Easley for them is a really dynamic player. They're number 1, and we kind of bottled him kind of the whole night, and then all of a sudden he gets behind us twice, and kind of gave them some momentum, and we turned the ball over. But man, he did a great job, and their coaching staff did a really good job of kind of putting us in bad spots, in what we were trying to do against them. So every parent that I talked to after the game had no voice. So it was exciting for the fans.
Absolutely. I was watching it as well. And, going back and forth, I've got 7 TVs, so I had 7 games on, but I just have to keep coming back here and checking in on it, especially when it got late. Tell us about that last, few minutes of that contest. What your thoughts are? They missed the extra point. Then they recovered the onside kick. Tell us a little bit about that last few minutes.
Well, it's funny you say that because we were thinking about, we score and we're up by 5 and we're thinking, man, we should go. Maybe if I just go up by 6, then we'll be up by, a touchdown and they would still have to make the extra point to beat us. Well, we decided to go for 2, which gets us up by 7, and it ended up being a difference in a ball game, which ironically last year we won by a 2-point conversion as well. But they get they don't get the score late in the game, and then they go for an onside kick. And man, once again, number 1 makes an incredibly athletic play on the to go high point the kick, and man recovers the onside kick. And man, it became real stressful real quick.
Tell us about the 4th down stand.
Yeah. So we jumped off sides twice on 4th down, which man, that's on me for not having good discipline with our guys. But so we gave them a 1st down twice, and then we get them to 4th down again. And our senior that man hasn't played last year, only played 1 game because of injury, and we kind of moved him positions, gets a sack on 4th down to end the ball game, and it couldn't have ended any better for him. I talked to him after the game, just kind of went full circle for him because he's worked so hard to get to a point to make a big impact for our team.
Tell us about some of those kids that really stood out for you guys tonight. I know Cash Newberry had an amazing night again.
He did. He threw some big yards. Cash hadn't played in 4 weeks, and you could tell he just was rusty with the timing, and he wishes he had some throws back. But Cam Richardson on defense, he played outstanding. So he kind of covered number 1 all over the field, and really didn't do anything. We eliminated explosive plays with Cam Richardson, but then he kind of got banged up. And at the end of the game, number 1, we didn't have an answer for him. So Cam Richardson's really incredible. Derek Washington is playing inside linebacker at a really high level. It's really fun to watch him. Joel, again, had, an incredible touchdown run. We didn't get him the ball probably enough. So, yeah, those guys just stood out. Kind of like those guys always show up. Trevor Heeman, again, had a long bunch of yards receiving. When a kid does this night in and night out, it's really impressive.
All right, Coach. First question: did you come out of tonight's contest relatively healthy?
Well, relatively, probably not. Our starting linebacker and backup running back, who's had a great year, is got a bum ankle, and so we'll find out how serious that is. This weekend and Monday. Samari Pickett. It was really playing at a high level for us, so you hate it for him. But outside of that, we'll actually get a couple guys back this next couple weeks, so relatively healthy. But Samari will be missed if he can't play this next week.
And how important is that, playing a district opponent that, you could technically leap all the way into that first place in a 17 district and create a bye for you? How important is that game next week?
Man, it's going to be really important. It's kind of interesting. It's it could be one of those things. We play them, and in a couple more weeks, we might have to play them again. So it's an important game, really important game for our defense. Coach Christian, they do such a good job offensively, and they're so disciplined and so explosive in the run game. We're going to have our hands full. So hopefully we've got a good game plan going in, and the boys can learn what we're trying to teach them.
Well, that game's at home, so that's one thing you got in your favor. But, Coach, as always, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time and participating in the Springfield Area Quarterback Club. And we'll look forward to seeing you there here in the next couple weeks.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All right, Coach. Thank you. Coach Frank Tristan there, kind enough to join us here as we're kind of winding down the show here. But that is a huge win. You know, looking at that district, and the next week they got Lebanon coming in to their house, Lebanon 4-3, which is identical to Glendale at this time. But that district right now, Lebanon sits atop that district with 37 points, but Glendale's got 34. I don't know what Lebanon has there last week, but well, they've got Waynesville, so that's probably going to be a win for Lebanon. But Waynesville's just a Class 5 school, and Glendale finishes with Nixa. So they're going to get the bonus points there. But even if they don't win that game against Nixa, but as long as they beat Lebanon, I don't see any way that Lebanon could be in front of them in this district. But, boy, what a night. We're still getting scores added to the list, and we certainly got everybody tuned in. Thanks to Kent. You talk about, Glendale. Coach Tristan talked about his parents being out of voice. Kent's not going to have a voice tomorrow after reading all the scores.
I'm still going strong.
You're still going strong. Very good. Well, it is 10:58 here, so we're going to wrap it up here on Friday Night Live. You've been listening to Friday Night Live on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. Good night, everybody. God bless.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. A heartbeat strong, steady, unwavering. Like the people who keep this country moving. Doing what they do best. Helping neighbors, pitching in, getting it done. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. And every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
Seems Bill's up the creek without a paddle.
That's not funny.
And while he really wants a new boat, at Central Bank, we're helping Bill plan for what's most important. Like retiring early and fishing whenever he wants. Hey, Bill, try it again.
Fine. Hope a new boat's part of this plan.
Dream bigger, Bill. We're thinking about a cabin, too.
Now that's a plan.
The Walnut Street Inn is located in the heart of Springfield on historic Walnut Street, just blocks away from the Missouri State campus, Hammons Field, Great Southern Arena, and downtown Springfield. The Walnut Street Inn features newly remodeled rooms, breakfast served daily, and a friendly, accommodating staff. The Walnut Street Inn is also a great venue for private events. Book your stay or get more information at walnutstreetinn.com or call 417-864-6346.